Not too often, but every once in a while, we run into old friends here at Heartland Highways, and in this story, that just happened to be the case. We ended up at Happy Ethington's house in rural Oakland, Illinois for a hummingbird banding. We first featured Happy way back in Season 1, and it just so happened that our friend Jack Nuzzo from the Illinois Raptor Center, which you may remember from Season 7, was there too, volunteering for the event. All of this was taking place during Happy and his wife Mary's 50th wedding anniversary celebration.
A lot of people have commented the fact of the matter that, you know, you're not going to a big social hall and duding up and something like that. And I just love to wear a tie. About the next time I'm in a tie, I probably won't know it. Well, my wife and I, as you might have seen from some of the settings around here, enjoy feeding birds, hummingbirds especially. And last year we had the opportunity of going to a banding in another community in the area. And we was quite intrigued by it, and gradually we started conversing with the gentleman that is in charge of the activity, and he thought it was quite intriguing to use this as a addition to a celebration, so he made arrangements to come over here, and they're here today, and things are beginning to materialize.
Happy and Mary invited the Illinois Audubon Society out to do a hummingbird banding festival. The society travels throughout the state doing the events as a way to not only track and count the birds, but to educate the public about them too.
Society is involved in everything that has to do with outdoors, particularly the preservation of wildlife and wildlife habitat. Well, we have some feeders in the background over by the house where the birds have been accustomed to coming for years and years, and we've put some of the feeders inside some traps, and the birds will go in and we'll catch the birds in the traps, take them out, bring them back to a table here where we can process them, put a band on their leg, let people feel their heartbeat, because it's kind of an interesting situation, and get a close-up look at these birds, then we'll let the birds go.
And for those who preferred to get a first-hand look without enduring the heat outside, well, Happy had just the thing for them too.
Well, that's something my son came up with. It's a wireless camera, and he's involved in banking, and I suppose they're from security cameras or something of that nature that they have to repair, replace, or upgrade. And he set them up, and in the house, if there's anybody that comes to visit us that is not exactly extremely mobile, we're going to make it available for them to sit and watch the activities and enjoy it as long as the rest of the crowd.
During these festivals, the birds receive tiny bands on their legs that have a number on them. That number, along with other information, is recorded by the Audubon Society.
The numbers and the date and location where they were banded, and if they ever come back here again or somebody else ever finds one again, we can say, well, it was banded at Happy Haven today and it was recovered wherever it was recovered. But most likely, if it's ever caught again, it'll be back here again. Well, this is a little aluminum band, just like they would put on ducks and doves and all the other species, except it's considerably smaller. And one of the differences between these bands and the others is we have to make the hummingbird bands. The others are already pre-formed for us. You just have to slap them on their legs. Well, here we have to cut them out, file them down, and then put them on their legs.
Hummingbirds live 3 to 5 years on average if they make it past their first year, which many do not. They come to places like the woods near Happy's house to nest, but much of the other parts of the year they spend traveling.
This is a species that travels a round trip between here and Central America twice a year. I mean, it spends what we call winter months down in, anywhere from southern Mexico into Costa Rica. Then they come back up here for the summer, and then they head back down in the winter. And so the only reason for coming up here is for nesting. They do not nest on the winter area.
One of the reasons you see so many hummingbirds at the Ethingtons too is because of the feeders put out to attract them.
Hummingbirds feed on nectar from flowers, and the nectar from flowers is kind of like a concoction of water and sugar. And so the ratio of water to the sugar is about 4 to 1, 4 parts water, 1 part sugar. When it's a little cooler, like in October before the birds have all left, you might increase it to 3 to 1, but that's pretty similar to what the nectar in the flowers.
Hummingbirds almost always draw a crowd of curious onlookers, and usually for a variety of reasons, but one being because they're actually somewhat rare and unique to this part of the world.
There's about 340 different kind of hummingbirds, and they're only in the Americas, North, Central, and South America, no other continent.
Something else many find fascinating about the tiny birds are their acrobatic flying abilities.
The uniqueness of them little buggers. My wife, she gets a hold of several different books and that, and it's a bird, the only bird that can fly up, down, sideways, backwards, and the size of them and everything, and we just enjoy sitting and watching them out our sun porch windows. And they, when I go out to feed them, they're not a timid bird. I'll refill the feeder and hang it up there, and if I stand there motionless momentarily, I'll have one come up while I still got my hand on the base of the feeder. And I've even had the opportunity to reach up and take my little finger and stroke one on the back like I was petting it.
Well, it's just like people like owls and eagles and so forth are so fascinating. First of all, they're fast, they are different than any other bird. It's something that they wish they could be themselves, have that freedom of flying backwards and up and down, go where they want to go, when they want to go, and they like just to watch them.
And if you like to watch them too and would like to get an up-close and personal look sometime, the Illinois Audubon Society usually holds several hummingbird banding festivals a month in the summers at various locations across the state, where you can even adopt your own hummingbird for a $5 donation. When you adopt the bird, you receive a certificate with their band number, and you're allowed to hold and release the bird once it has been counted. The full calendar of banding festivals is online at illinoisaudubon.org.